Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Pima Community College, Culinary 150, Garde Manger. This is week 5, lab 1, and your assignment for the week, pork, pistachio, and apricot terrine. First thing the recipe calls for is 8 ounces of pork tenderloin. So we have our 8 ounces. We're going to cut it 1/2-inch cubes or 1/4-inch cubes, anywhere in between. Doesn't have to be the exact same size. And put it in our bowl. And just dice it up. So our pork is now all diced. Trim as much fat from the pork before if you can. Now we'll add our garlic and 2 tablespoons brandy or cognac. This is optional. You don't have to do it. Spread it out evenly in the bowl and refrigerate for about 6 hours. Okay, so it's been a couple hours that our pork and our cognac and our garlic has been marinating. So next step is to add our chopped parsley, chives, our pistachios, and our ground pork. Now we'll mix this all up together. We'll add a little salt and pepper. And we'll mix it just a little bit more. Okay. Now we'll set this aside for a second and get out our pan. Now in our pan, we'll line the inside with butter. So we'll take out some softened butter, spread it evenly throughout the pan as best we can. Now, you're going to say, Chef, why don't you use a spoon for that? That's pretty unsanitary. Well, first thing is, I've just washed my hands. Second thing, an old chef I used to work for told me once that hands were invented a long time before spoons were. Our next step is to line the pan with our bacon slices. And we're going to try to leave a little bit folded over the edge. Try to have them touch each other if possible. We're going to lay a sprig of thyme down there. Now we're going to get our pork mixture. We're going to fill halfway full. Now you're probably going to have some left over, and if you do, just go ahead and do another pan. If you don't have the bacon, you can use ham, pork fat. Press this down a little bit. Now we're going to lay our apricots. Stagger them. Don't lay them in a straight line. Fill the rest of the pan with our meat mixture. Evenly across. Stretch our bacon. Stretch the bacon on top. And another couple pieces of bacon. Our next step, take a piece of tin foil, butter one side, and we'll put the butter side down on the pan. Crimp the edges. Throw another sprig of thyme in there. Now we'll crimp the edges. Press down a little bit. Okay. Our next step is to wrap this tightly with plastic. Set our pan down, wrap it once. 1.5 times, fold it under, fold it around. Now I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to find a pot big enough to hold our terrine, and I'll fill this with water about halfway. Put it into a 350-degree oven for 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we have our water in the pan, 1 hour and 20 minutes. The reason for the water, it distributes the heat more evenly around the outside of the terrine. 1 hour and 20 minutes, coming right up. So what I did was I cooked this for 1 hour and 20 minutes at 350 degrees. I took it out of the oven and checked the temperature. It still wasn't up to 165, so I put it back in the oven for about 20 minutes. Then I took it out and I let it sit for about 10 minutes so that it's cool enough to touch. So what we want to do now is gently take our terrine and put it on our plate. Now that it's on our plate, we need to get a piece of cardboard and we'll trim it up just a little bit. Like this. We leave the plastic on and we leave the foil on. We put our cardboard on top and we weigh it down. I happen to have some Campbell soup cans and a can of chili here. Comes out to about 2 pounds. We put this whole plate in our refrigerator overnight. So we've removed our terrine from the refrigerator. We've taken the plastic wrap off and the weights and the cardboard. We'll gently take the top of the tin foil off. That's looking pretty good. Now, I have a pot of hot water, which I'll just dunk the terrine in for a couple minutes, loosen up the outsides. Pull some of the bacon off the top. All right, let's see what we got. Take the terrine out, we'll move the water. Place the terrine on our cutting board. Now I use 2 pans for the strength. So we have our terrine looking pretty good. Bacon looks good. We'll scrape off any jelly that formed overnight from the fats. And now we're ready to cut our terrine. I'm going to use the hot water to wet my blade. We'll start at the end and slowly slice. Use a serrated blade if you can. Oh, that looks good. Okay. You can see the layers. You can see the apricot. You can see the pistachio nuts. This looks pretty good. And now our terrine is ready for service. And this is our finished terrine as ready for presentation to our guests. Please make sure you read the readings in the book according to the syllabus. Check out the documents posted in D2L. Watch all the videos. There's a couple extra in there for you to just look at if you wish. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chef Lolly. Happy cooking.